The last thing we talk about here is that even though hell's got a lot of power and is constantly trying to pull you into, recruit you into being like hell, that inborn selfish narcissism and materialism that we all tend toward in different ways,
that we've inherited.
That's powerful. It ain't nothing compared to the power of heaven. It's not close. The ratio is not close.
Yeah.
This is from Secrets of Heaven 6:344. It talks about how angels have the ability to control so many demons or evil spirits or whatever you want to call them. No one in this world is very likely to know about the power truth has from goodness. Truth and goodness, that's not power. It is apt to be known only to the inhabitants of the other world, and consequently only by revelation from there. People who subscribe to truth on the basis of goodness, that is, who possess faith as a result of neighborly love, have power through truth from goodness. It is a power that all angels have, which is why the word refers to angels as powers. They have, so what powers? They have the ability to control evil spirits, even when one angel goes up against 1,000 spirits at once. With people on earth, they exert their power to the utmost, sometimes protecting us against a large number of hells in thousands upon thousands of different ways. This power they receive from the goodness belonging to neighborly love through the truth belonging to faith. Faith comes to them from the Lord, though, so the Lord alone is their power.
I was just editing a passage the other day in Secrets of Heaven, Volume 13, where it says something to the effect, it uses this particular image that I never remember Swedenborg using before, that says that to an angel, like dealing with 10,000 evil spirits that are all arrayed and like marching like an army, is like blowing away a piece of lint in the air. It just blows away. That it doesn't even take any. We love the idea that evil is powerful. And there's so many movies. I'm thinking about movies like The Matrix, where Neo has to go through the whole first movie trying to get strong enough to deal with Mr. Smith. And he can't quite do it. And then eventually he sort of kind of almost gets there and everything like that. There's so many, or Kaiser Soze or these other figures who are so powerful and intimidating and everything like that. From a true perspective, goodness is so powerful. The evil is able to put up as much fight as a shadow does in the closet when you open the door, which is I'll get rid of you, light. No, the light wins. It wins instantly, and it's amazing to think about that kind of power.
Speaking of
and
movies,
how hard they're working on our behalf.
This alludes to what you said in the very intro, that there's more going on around you than you could ever know. Because you kind of, angel and devil on the shoulder. There's one devil who's like, hey, don't you want to...
Here's a bad idea.
Steal that, and then and the angel's like, get out of here. But actually, like if you could see the spiritual world, there's times when there's just so many hell spirits, people that are in hell, coming after you in all these ways. There's just like armies coming towards you, and your guardian angels are like blocking them, squashing what they can squash, protecting you and protecting the evil spirits at the same. Like they're
That's right.
non-violent. Like they don't want to kill the evil spirits.
No.
They don't want to destroy them, because those are people who have chosen a bad. But God still loves those people. Those people are still. We're going to try to keep you from becoming worse and more evil. But it's like the ratio of angels to evil spirits is so much more powerful. You were mentioning movies. What about in the Lord of the Rings, which I know came from the books first? There's in the second movie, there's the Battle of Helm's Deep, which I think anyone who's watched those movies would know that. That's the thing where there's like a few good guys. There's not that many good guys. And they're in a castle, and there's this army. The bad guys have arranged this humongous army of these big, scary-looking guys.
All got their armor on, and they're all tramping in the
bigger army than anyone's ever had. The line right before it introduces that army is, but there is no army that size. And then they walk out and they see it. Whoa. and there's a huge battle. It's just a few good guys, but they win. It's hard, and there's attrition. It's not quite the ratio of angels, just like, but there's something about like just a few good people can do it.
Yeah.
The power of goodness is really strong.
And I think what Jesus did, I mean, we've talked in some show that we did about the fact that some of the worst evil spirits that attack us, the Lord deals with them with a baby, like
Innocence,
there are spirits that who died as infants, and they're able to just deal with, they're just like, you're awful, and they can just, they're not taken in by it. You smell bad.
If you're talking about the struggle, Jesus Christ was the epitome of all this, because that's when God Himself went through this same thing that we go through.
That's right.
That He,
and no filters. It wasn't through two little evil spirits or something. This is the whole thing was a raid.
He was taking on the entirety of all the hells.
That's right.
And having this same kind of struggle, but doing it for all of us.
And I don't even think the thing that was difficult about it was dealing with that evil. I think it was more, as you're saying, protecting, coming from compassion. You stay here. But the way that the Lord heals people is kind of an image of this, where it's not like, gosh, I really had to work on that for months. The Lord just goes in, fixes your leg, heals you from the dead, just boom, boom. He's got the power.
You made the
absolutely
point.
Has the
in
power.
The Bible, there's always build up to conflicts, and then the actual conflict is always really short.
Right. It's a nothing burger.
And I think for
That's right.
for Jesus, the hardship is not, oh no, how am I going to battle and have enough power to do this?
They look really scary.
But the hard thing is the emotional, the devastation of how did it get to this? Like, I'm out here looking at these millions and millions and tens of millions of people, who knows how many people had lived by that time, that all chose hell, and they love evil.
Right.
And they would kill me if they could. They'd kill everyone. The human race is in such a wretched state. And these are all people that I love.
Yeah, people that I love. And the remedies that I put in place have collapsed and become corrupt and aren't working anymore.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is a hot mess.
So there's that struggle. This comes back to the struggle between goodness and evil. And it's playing out in our minds. We can't recognize it for what it is. We don't know. But now that you know, you can help to tip that. You can make the angels' work days better. You can help to influence the outcomes. And you do that by just trying to notice when you think your angels might be offering something to you.
Yes, and sometimes I've been very interested. Like there was times where I was kind of beside myself and I'm freaking out about something, and often they can't, in whatever subtle experience I've had of it, and I might be wrong about what I was experiencing, but they can't go directly because I'm too wound up. They'll wait for a little moment when I just sort of take a little break where I'm kind of exhausted from feeling that way, and I'm not feeling that way for a second, or something. I notice, the prism in the window is creating a rainbow on the wall, or something. I'm just distracted for a second. Then they can just slip in a little positive thought. Boom, just a little thought, but that thought will hold a lot of power.
Yeah.
And to see how you can get distracted. Sometimes I think it's exactly like when you're dealing with little children. I think we've talked about this before on the show, where they're playing with something dangerous, and then this looks fun, and they just sort of drop it. They don't think about it. They walk away and do the other thing. And Swedenborg describes situations that are like this, where you're with an evil spirit and you don't realize it. And then another spirit comes up. You don't realize it's good. But that spirit is just able to, you want to come with me or you want to go with him? So, it's up to you, whichever one. Oh, you come with me? Oh, okay. And you only even find out later that the other one had a knife behind their back and they were going to stab you. And they just kind of, in your freedom, lured you away from this situation. Sometimes you can feel like when your moods just change, or if you've been thinking about something and then a new thought comes in that you weren't thinking about it before? I think that's them.
Well, so to identify and attribute that to heaven, that's an important and powerful tool in spiritual growth. That's something that you could almost say that all of Swedenborg is like, everything is going to be how it was, but your belief about what caused what and who was behind what is going to change. I was thinking about praying. Like I've never been that great at like, what's praying and when do you do it? But I have noticed that I will sometimes, or try to, at least, especially recently, I'll say a prayer to God about something that I'm always like internal stuff. Like, can you help me with this feeling or this thought or this whatever little bind I'm in? And doing that, what that does is when later you get the inspiration that solves that, you think, oh, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
And that creates this connection. And it would
makes you a little grateful rather than proud when you get that solution. Yeah.
It shows you the existence. It can just hit you right in the face. Like, wow, that so obviously that's God. And it's God through angels, but it's all the same. Like that, God just did that. Or something outside me that's good and benevolent and clever just gave me the solution to this thing that I couldn't figure out. And then that cements the reality in your mind.
I ran into a little situation in my editing yesterday, but it was a nasty little problem where just because of the meaning of these Latin words and the way they come into English, you ended up with a kind of ridiculous